Hello and welcome to another Cygnus Destroyer review. It's August, so just like last year, I'm gonna do a Spider-Man video. Unlike 2014's month-long event, which you can check out by clicking on the box next to me, I'm only gonna do one game. No, it's not Maximum Carnage. I know a lot of you want to see that one, but I'm not quite ready to cover it yet. Instead, I'm gonna feature a title where the webhead is part of a larger cast, Marvel Superheroes War of the Gems. Released near the end of the Super Nintendo's lifespan in November 1996, Marvel Superheroes War of the Gems was published and developed by Capcom. It followed the formula established by the previous Capcom Marvel entry, 1994's X-Men Mutant Apocalypse, even carrying over everyone's favorite Canadian mutant, Northstar! Wolverine. War of the Gems centers around the battle for possession of the 6 Infinity Gems, which grant the power to rule the universe. Adam Warlock senses that someone is attempting to gather them all, so he enlists the help of Marvel's A-listers, the Hulk, Iron Man, Captain America, Spider-Man, and the aforementioned Wolverine to stop this from happening. The stones end up scattered all over Earth, and with the help of Tony Stark's supercomputer, 4 possible locations are pinpointed and the group heads out on what's basically a scavenger hunt. The initial levels are those 4 areas, and a gem may or may not be present after completing them. Similarly to Mutant Apocalypse, the stages can be selected in any order, but in contrast to the X-Men tie-in, the 5 characters can be chosen at will. The fate of the world is in the quintets and by association the player's hands, so if you're not up to the task yet, there's a training room at the Avengers base. For those who are ready to rock, it's time to choose a location, pick one of the Marvel icons, and leap into the action. As mentioned previously, War of the Gems is basically a sequel to Mutant Apocalypse in all but name. It features the same platformer beat-em-up hybrid style of the earlier Capcom effort with a nearly identical control scheme. Y attacks and B jumps. The signature moves are performed by button combinations ripped right out of Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat. For example, Iron Man's repulsor ray is executed by pressing down to forward and Y, and Wolverine's claw dash, which is recycled from Mutant Apocalypse, is unleashed by tapping forward twice and Y. Marvel's mightiest are represented very accurately from their comic book origins, and they also fit nicely into the beat-em-up archetypes. Spider-Man is weak but fast, Wolverine is a perfect blend of speed and strength, and Iron Man and Cap are a little slower but pack a mean punch. The Hulk is the brute of the bunch, so I give Capcom points for being faithful to the source material in that department, but his strength is more of a hindrance than a help. The Hulk moves really slow, and his jumping ability pales in comparison to the others. I'm sorry to say this, Hulk fans, but he's completely out of place in this platformer-heavy adventure. The truth is that I couldn't pass a single section as Bruce Banner's alter ego. I tried and I tried over and over again, but I kept on failing. I could barely get past the evil Hawkeyes, let alone any of the major foes. Let me repeat that. Hawkeye was demolishing the Hulk. Unbelievable! My advice is to just pretend that the Green Giant isn't there. Don't get me wrong, I love being able to smash stuff with reckless abandon, but Capcom would have been better off going with Thor instead. Mini rant aside, this is truly one of the greatest ensembles in a licensed tie-in. I was an avid comics reader when I was a kid, so the fact that a game existed where you could play as Captain America, Wolverine, Spider-Man, the Hulk, and Iron Man was a dream come true. Fortunately, this dream didn't become a nightmare. This was made during Capcom's glory years, so naturally everything about it is top-notch. Well, nearly everything. Also, what's up with Wolverine's adamantium claws not being able to break through this wall in Doom's castle? Tony Stark is able to destroy it without breaking a sweat, but Logan can't even scratch it? WTF! In spite of this brain buster, the level and sprite designs are high quality. Each environment showcases some stellar weather effects and animations, including the background of the Boston Aquarium and the Alaskan snow, and that's only the tip of the iceberg. In regards to the sprites, both the good and bad guys are infused with traits that enhance their personalities, like Spidey's walk cycle. It's incredibly goofy, but I can't get enough of it. On the other hand, Iron Man's combo really annoyed me. It always finishes with a flying uppercut, which left me wide open to enemy attacks on multiple occasions. As for the villains, the majority of them are comprised of evil versions of the 5 stars as well as other Marvel figures such as She-Hulk, Daredevil, The Thing, and that damn nuisance Hawkeye. I don't know how clones were created of these crime fighters, but they obviously have sufficient DNA to mass produce them because they appear over and over from stage to stage. Each potential gem site concludes with a boss fight. The bulk of the early battles are against doppelgangers, but traditional nemesis such as Doctor Doom and Blackheart make an appearance to increase the drama. Upon eliminating the menace in certain levels, a stone will drop down, which leads me to an integral element to attaining victory, the power-up system. After a character is selected, an inventory screen will appear. This may be confusing at first, but the highly sought title objects show up here after they're collected. This also houses essential life-sustaining items such as the big and small energy tanks, which refill the health meter between each leg of the journey, as well as a capsule with the ability to revive fallen comrades. Since there are no lives or continues to count on for insurance, these are of the utmost importance. The stones can be equipped in a single slot after they're obtained, and each one offers unique abilities. Time allows for quicker movement, and reality uncovers hidden objects, among others. On top of this, they're further fueled by an item in the menu that allows an extra powerful attack to be performed by pressing up, forward, down, and Y. I pulled this off a couple times and it did dole out extra damage, but I very rarely bothered to use it. However, the stones themselves are of great service, with reality being able to reveal much needed revival and health pieces, but the best is yet to come. The next cutscene occurs after the 4 areas are searched. It's learned that the Magus is the one who seeks the stones, so the team decides to confront the Fiend on his home turf. Magus's ship is tough, and unlike the preceding segments, there is no password to depend on, so it's do or die and go back to the previous part. Since Magus is a hard SOB who constantly refills his life bar, that's exactly what happened to me over and over again. After experimenting with various strategies, I discovered that Spidey was my go-to dude. The webhead made it easy to jump over Magus's projectiles and then kick him and rush in for the combo. Remain patient and soon enough he'll be defeated. Magus, as it turns out, was not the ultimate baddie. With 3 stones now in their possession, a message is received from none other than Thanos. He demands that they relinquish their 3 to him or die. After that, more coordinates pop up and it's back to the 4 location setup of the intro. There's not much of a challenge here, but the highlight is without a doubt the hoverboard battle against the evil Silver Surfers at Mount Vesuvius. Making it past the spiky assault in Egypt and pummeling Clone Hulk to a pulp will bring up the ultimate reward, the Soul Gem, which doubles the life meter. This provides some much needed relief against the difficult final stretch. I'm about to discuss the conclusion, so the spoiler warning is now active. As always, click on the box art to skip ahead or move to the time listed on the screen. After 5 of the stones are collected, the heroes travel to Thanos' base. A cutscene reveals Nebula greeting them there with a welcoming gift of pain! Nebula may talk the talk, but can't really walk the walk since she's pretty easy. She may get an occasional pistol whip in, but Parker's jump kick stun and attack combo speedily knocks her unconscious. Upon Nebula's defeat, Thanos arrives on the scene and it's time for the final showdown. Thanos can be tricky as he conjures fire and harmful obstacles from his gauntlet. Echoing the Magus encounter, there is no password to bail us out with, so the stakes are quite high. I repeated my Magus experiment to determine the best offensive tactics. I had minor success with trapping him in the corner, but Parker and his agility were my lucky charms. I kept my distance and made sure to hit him when he was vulnerable. Patience was a virtue. I kept the pressure on the bastard and... With the stones in safe hands, the protagonists return to their family and friends on Earth, pondering whether they'll truly ever be at peace. Being that there was never a sequel to this, I'll assume the answer is yes. I've just completed a great game, now go and rest our heroes! I may not have reviewed a Spider-Man title to celebrate the month of his origin, but Marvel Superheroes War of the Gems is the perfect stand-in. Parker really shines in this one. I thought he was the weakest upon my first impressions, but I was way wrong. He puts Cap, Iron Man, Wolverine, and the Hulk to shame, which I very much approve of. As a whole, though, this is one of the best comic book tie-ins ever produced, and I would highly recommend it to everyone. Well, everyone but Hulk fans. Anyway, with my tribute to the wall crawler wrapped up, I have another appearance in the IUPG court to settle for next week. Come back for that, but until then, this is Matt, signing out. Thanks for watching, everyone. Come back next week for another Innocent Till Proven Guilty, but until then, you can check out the videos on the screen right now. On the upper left-hand corner, that's the last Cygnus Store Top 10 on Top 10 retro games that need a reboot or remake. Reboots and remakes are happening all the time these days, and classic titles are being revamped and for the current consoles, and I think that's really cool. So I count down 10 games that I would like to see brought back that way. So I think you'll enjoy it, so click that box right there to check it out. On the upper right hand corner, that is, since this is tying with it's a Marvel game, Marvel War of the Gems, I figured I would link the LJ and Defender Punisher episode right there. It's an oldie but a goodie, so check that out. On the bottom left hand corner, that is the Sonic 3D Blast episode of Innocent Till Proven Guilty. Yes, it's a lot of fun. Sonic, the first Sonic game that I ever reviewed, but not the last, as I've also covered Sonic the Hedgehog Genesis since then for the Game Boy Advance. And there will definitely be more Sonic games, so click that left-hand box on the bottom to check that out. And as always, for anybody who's new to the channel, if you like what you saw, click that red box right there, and that'll subscribe to the channel, and you'll be able to keep up to date with all my current content. So like I said before, come back next week for an all-new Innocent Till Proven Guilty, but until then, I'll talk to you guys later. Bye-bye!